Hi, Lisa Pohl from Kentucky here. Are you looking for some fun things that you can do this spring for your shows? I know I'm always looking for a great theme show. I love theme shows because theme shows are fun and exciting, and when you have theme shows, that gets people want to book, and it also gets your hosts enthusiastic about inviting their friends when it's some type of a fun theme. And I call that a win-win. It's a win for you, and it's definitely a win for your host when she has a good turnout. So today I'm going to show you a great Kentucky Derby party that you can do. So how about a Kentucky Derby party? The Derby always runs the first Saturday of May, and it's known as, the tradition basically is, it's a huge horse race with lots of parties, fancy hats, and mint juleps. I'm going to show you today how to make one of the favorite Kentucky foods called the hot brown. And normally it's made as an entree, but I'm going to show you how you can turn this into a great appetizer to have at a Derby party. So the first thing we're going to utilize is our 10-inch nonstick stainless. I'm in love with this pan. This thing is amazing. It is the best thing they have come out with since the Rock Crack. I love it. So what I've done, I've gone ahead and preheated the pan right now, and here's one of my show tips. Instead of just purchasing regular bacon, I purchased the pre-cooked bacon that doesn't have to be refrigerated. It's vacuum sealed, so it's cooked 3/4 of the way, and this way I don't have a lot of mess at my party and cooking bacon and having the grease to deal with and everything. So I just have 6 slices, so you can see it's pretty much cooked, but it's not super crunchy. So I like to take my Santoku knife right here, and then I'm just gonna put that in a stack, and then just go ahead and chop this bacon right up. So this is just easy to do, fast and quick, and we're gonna throw that in our skillet and crisp that up just a little bit here. Okay, so throw that right here in our hot skillet. And once that comes out, I've got a bowl with a paper towel, and I'm just gonna stick that in here. And then we're gonna start on our base. So in 1920, in Louisville, where the Derby is run, the Brown Hotel had a dance, and all the people were partying and dancing, and about really early in the morning they got hungry, and so they all went down to the kitchen and typically to the restaurant, and typically they would serve bacon and eggs at 3 in the morning. But the chef, I'm assuming he had some extra stuff sitting around, decided to, they were, party people anyway, why not make something, use up what you got in the kitchen, right? That's what we do at home. So he decided to try something new, and that's where the hot brown was developed. So the hot brown consists of bread, and typically it's white bread, and we're just going to use pre-sliced French bread that you find in your deli at your grocery store. So we're going to do 12 slices of pre-sliced French bread, turkey, and I just got some really nice turkey at the deli. I had them slice it on number 1, so that was perfect for this recipe. Bacon, and then we're going to make a Mornay sauce or a cheese sauce. So first I'm going to teach you how to make the bechamel, and that is the base, and then you add the cheese, and that makes that into a cheese sauce. So we're just going to crisp this up. Look at this gorgeous skillet. Is this not the most beautiful skillet that you've ever seen? And then to top it off, we have this amazing non-stick grid in here. This is genius because so many people are afraid of cooking in stainless, but this grid makes it so easy to clean. I have been so amazed at cooking eggs and omelets, and they don't stick in here. It's crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat up our pan, but you also have a lid. So this is like a saute pan, but with the lid added, it makes it a skillet. So this is a really versatile piece here. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. So when you make a roux, it's equal parts of fat and flour. So we've got 2 tablespoons of butter here. I like to use real butter, not margarine. You want to melt that. Sometimes when you make a bechamel, you add onions as well, but we're not going to with this recipe. So what we're making is called a roux. It's R-O-U-X, and it's going to add flavor and thickening. So this is our thickening. So you can use the roux as a base, and then the bechamel for lots of different things, and I'll be telling you more about that here in just a second. But you want to just melt your butter in here, and then as soon as your butter is melted, we're going to stir in the flour. And guess what? I'm going to use metal. use stainless. I'm gonna use a stainless whisk right in my pan. I know when I first got this, I was like, but definitely can use metal. That's what's so great about these pans is you can use them with metal. You can put them in the dishwasher. They're oven safe to 450 degrees. It's just crazy. All the stuff you can do with these pans. I call them husband-proof and kid-proof. You know, because before you'd have those pans and you're like, oh, don't let my husband use that because he's going to put metal in it, or don't let my kids, you know, got to hide all the spatulas. This is so amazing because it goes in the dishwasher. All these things. You can sear in it. I love to just get it really hot with a little oil and put some chicken or some fish in here and then finish it off in the oven. Take that out and then deglaze the pan with a little white wine or a little chicken stock. Let that reduce down, add some fresh herbs. You have maybe some lemon juice. You have a great pan sauce that you can make really easily. Like I was telling you, omelets in here, they just slide right out of the pan. Fried eggs, crazy, scrambled eggs. Never before could I cook eggs in a stainless pan, and now I can. So the roux that we're cooking right here, you can see, we don't want it to get dark. Now there's different kinds of roux that you can make. We're making what they call a blonde roux, and so we want it to be just a blonde color, and you'll start to smell it. It smells a little bit nutty, and now I'm gonna add some milk. And you wanna add your milk gradually. And I was telling you there's different kinds of roux. If you're doing Cajun cooking, you might do a brown roux, or a dark roux, which is gonna get really dark and really bubbly, and that's where you get the flavor from the roux. So now we're just gonna start adding our milk. And we want to add it gradually. You don't want to add it all at one time or you'll have lumps. So you want to, it'll look kind of pasty here and you'll think, oh, am I messing this up? Am I doing something right? Just keep gradually adding your milk in here. If you really want to make this like traditional, you can add heavy cream. So that's what the Brown Hotel, their recipe uses heavy cream. But we're going to try to cut back a little bit. So this is like a really rich meal because you've got this cheese sauce and you've got bacon and you've got turkey and you've got more cheese. So it is very, very rich. And I love these as an appetizer because that's really all I need. I don't want a big plate of a hot brown. So like I was telling you, mint juleps are the traditional drink, and I'm going to show you, Home Office came up with a really fun twist on a mint julep. And it is a citrus mint julep. So I'll be showing you a little bit later different variations that you can do with that as well. So right now we're making a basic white sauce or a bechamel. And once we add cheese to it, then it becomes a Mornay sauce or a cheese sauce. But what can you do with this? This is one of the basic sauces, and this can be a base for so many things. Homemade macaroni and cheese. So you make this sauce, add your cheese, add your cooked macaroni, put that in a pan, stick that in the oven, homemade macaroni and cheese. Scalloped potatoes, same thing, this is your base. You want to make a homemade cream sauce? Well, here we go again. Do this, or homemade cream soup. So for example, if I wanted to make a cream of broccoli soup, I would make this, add my cheese, and then add my steamed broccoli, cook that down and puree it, and I have a wonderful cream of broccoli soup. So this is just a great base that you can use instead of buying the canned soups. So just gonna let this, we've got all this milk added in here, and we wanna let it bubble up. You do wanna make sure you're stirring it every so often. We're gonna put some salt and pepper in here. Okay, I went ahead and grated my cheddar cheese and Parmesan cheese with the coarse grater. So I've already grated that, both of those cheeses. So I have my Parmesan here and I have my cheddar cheese here. While that's just simmering down here for a few minutes, I'll cut up the turkey. So again, I'm gonna kind of do it just like I did the bacon, where I'm just gonna keep it in its slices. Use my Sentoku knife here and cut it into a dice. And you can just do this, chop all this up really easily. And then we're going to use our quick slice to cut up our tomatoes. So we've got some plum tomatoes here. All right. Wipe that down a little bit. Keep my work area clean. Okay, so this is just starting to bubble up a little bit. We don't want it boiling and we don't need to leave it on here very long. But as you can see, this is a really quick sauce to throw together. Okay, now I'm just gonna add our cheese in here and let that melt. And there you have your homemade cheese sauce. This is also great on baked potatoes with a little broccoli and bacon. So that's another thing that you can do is put this on your baked potatoes. So this pan, like I was telling you guys, I love the pan, dishwasher safe, oven safe to 450 degrees. Eggs, omelets, panini, sandwiches, I just leave it on top of the stove. I don't even put it away. And it is such an investment because it has a lifetime warranty on it. So when you get this pan, it's guaranteed for life. Just amazing. I think every rental property should get one because how many times you go to a beach house or something and the pans are, I'm sure they replace them all the time, can you imagine? But so we're just gonna take our turkey here and dump that in here. And then mix that around. And we're going to scoop that onto the bread. So you can see right here, I have it on our large entertaining platter. If you don't have the large entertaining platter, of course you could use any of our pieces of stoneware that you have. So don't be worried if you don't have the platter. I like the platter because it's really pretty because you put it in the oven and then you pull it out and you have this gorgeous platter and everything's all right there together. And that's, you know, you don't have to transfer it from one thing to the other. We're gonna take our medium scoop and we're just gonna scoop this mixture onto our bread, okay? Did you know that in Kentucky, of course, you know, we're big for bourbon here. We make most of the world's bourbon, but there are actually, and that's why there's bourbon in your mint juleps, because it is a Kentucky product here, and it's been here for years and years and years. But there are actually more barrels of bourbon in Kentucky than there are people here. So we actually have more bourbon here in barrels than we do population, which is kind of funny. All right, so we have our yummy cheese sauce on here. And I'm just gonna spread that out a little bit. Then we're gonna sprinkle our cooked bacon over top. Okay. Love that now that can just go straight into the dishwasher. So we're gonna take our bacon and just sprinkle these on top. Make sure you do the bacon at this point right now. We're gonna put tomato slices on here, but now if you put it on with the cheese, it's gonna stick onto the cheese sauce. If you put the tomato on first, then it's not gonna stick on there. So make sure you put the bacon on first. We made these last night and they were very, very yummy. And I think anybody would love to have these as an appetizer for any party, really. Okay, so just take our quick slice, put our tomato in here, kind of rock back and forth. And now we've got our tomato slices and we'll just stick a slice on each one. Okay. We're going to have some fun things that you can do at your parties. One thing is, like I told you, the hats are really big at a Kentucky Derby, and so you might want to have a hat contest where everyone that wears one of the Derby hat their name can go into a drawing, and that could be just like a really fun type of thing. Everybody gets excited when everybody's walking in with a different hat and oohing and ahhing over their hats. Another thing that might be kind of fun is to cut out little horses or buy little horses, and so this one has a number and everybody gets a horse with a number. And then it's called the Run for the Roses because the winner gets this huge blanket of like 450 roses, the horse does, that's blanketed over them, and that's why it's called the Run for the Roses. And if you could find some little stickers that were roses, it would be perfect. So everybody gets a numbered horse, and then when they help with the recipe or they share a tip or they ask a good question, they get to put a little rose sticker on their horse. And the one, you can kind of line them up at the end of the party and see who has the most, and that would be the winner. Okay, so we've got our tomatoes on there, and then we're gonna just take our Parmesan cheese and sprinkle the Parmesan cheese on. And this is gonna go into the oven for about 12 to 14 minutes at 400 degrees. And once those pop out, they're gonna be ready to go. So really easy recipe, really delicious, makes 12, so it's a good show recipe. So I'll show you these as soon as they get out.